Hello students! Have you ever wondered what kind of trees that are planted in your school? Or have you ever known what kind of beautiful flowers that exist in your family's garden? Or maybe you're very curious to learn about seed plants. Well, curious no more, because in today's video, I'm gonna show you all things you need to know about spermatophytes. Let's find out together. Spermatophytes is the last major group that comprise plant kingdom. Compared to bryophytes and pteridophytes, spermatophytes well known as higher plants group. It is because they possess vascular tissue and fully differentiated organ structure. Also, it has a more complex life cycle and reproduction mechanisms, especially by the existence of the seed. Spermatophytes, or we can call them as seed plants, can be grouped into two major groups based on the location of the seed. The first group of spermatophytes is Gymnosperms. Its name was derived from two Greek words. The first one is gymno, which means open or naked, and the second word is sperme, which means seed. This group of plants widely known as conifers. The second group of spermatophytes is called as Angiosperms. Its name was derived from two Greek words also. The first word is angion or enclose, and the second word is sperma, which means seed. We encountered many species of Angiosperms in our daily life due to its flower, which come in various shapes and colors. Now let's take a look at the similarities and differences that exist between the two large groups of spermatophytes. At the first sight, we can see that Gymnosperms and Angiosperms both are seed plants. In seed plants, there is no more alteration between the sporophyte generation and gametophyte generation, just like the one we found in bryophytes or pteridophytes. Gametophyte has been reduced and has become completely dependent on the sporophyte generation. This is the main similarity between Gymnosperms and Angiosperms. However, there are also differences between the two. Seed in Gymnosperms are open seed. It is not protected or surrounded by what we usually call as fruit. The seeds in Gymnosperms are located in leaves, which are modified into a structure called as strobilus. On the contrary, the seed in Angiosperms are closed seed because the seed comes from an organ called the flower. Flower, especially female flower, has an ovary, which later, after fertilization, will develop into a fruit, which will cover or wrap the seeds. Overall, that is the main differences between the Gymnosperms and Angiosperms. For the rest of it, there are differences in leaf shapes and habitat for the two groups of plants. Now let's talk about the life cycle and reproduction mechanisms of Gymnosperms. Here you can see the diagram that show us the life cycle and reproduction mechanisms of Gymnosperms. Gymnosperms does not have flowers. The seeds are not protected, but the seeds are located in a structure called as strobilus. Strobilus consists of two types, male strobilus and female strobilus. Both of them have their own sex cells. Male Stropbilus produce sperm cells. Meanwhile, female Stropbilus produce egg cells. And when both sex cells meet, fertilizations occur. And after that, the seeds will grow and develop into a new individual plants. In these slides, you can see the classification of Gymnosperms. Gymnosperms can be divided into 4 classes, which includes Cycadophytes, Gnatophytes, Coniferophytes, and Ginkgophytes. You can see in the given list are the main characteristics of each class. And here you can see the pictures that give us the example of the individual plant in each class. Now move on to the life cycle and reproduction mechanisms of Angiosperms. In the right of your screen, you can see the diagram that describes the Angiosperm's life cycle and reproduction mechanism. The main reproductive organ in Angiosperms known as flower. In flower, there are 2 sex organs, stamen or male reproductive organ, which produces pollen, and pistil or female reproductive organ, which produce ovum or egg cells. When both sex cells meet, a fertilization occurs. And finally, the seed will grow and develop into a new individual plants. Next is the classification of Angiosperms. Angiosperms can be divided into 2 major classes based on the number of embryonic leaf. The first one is monocotyledon, which is any plants that have 1 embryonic leaf. Systematically, it consists of 11 orders and 45 families. The example plant of this group includes corn, rice, coconut, and the beautiful one, orchid. The second group is dicotyledon, which is any plants that have 2 embryonic leaves. It consists of 44 orders and the largest number of family in the plants kingdom, 261 families. There are many examples of this group. You can see on your screen the diagram that describes the main characteristics, also differences between those 2 classes here. This is the diversity of monocot plants. And this is the diversity of dicot plants. Spermatophytes has many roles and uses in the ecosystem. For example, spermatophytes has a main role as oxygen producers and pollutant absorbents. It can be consumed by us as foods and also other daily needs, such as paper, tissue, or our clothes. They also can be utilized to produce medicinal needs, for housing and building materials, and of course, the source of energy called as biomass energy. Alright students, do you have a better understandings about the spermatophytes right now? Well, I hope you do. And I hope you get to know more about these higher plants group of the plant kingdom. Well, if you have any further questions, please send me an email or write it down on the comment sections below. Well, it is time for me to end this video. See you on the next video with many other interesting topics. Don't stop learning, and may God bless you. Goodbye.